Hello guys, H2H here and welcome back to BPL Breakdown. This is a series where I pick out a really cool or important match over the weekend or on a weekday in this case. And we talk about the game. We have a simmed match in the background, so almost like a FIFA prediction. I then have my prediction. I talk about what I think is going to happen in that match and sometimes all of the other games. Although in this case, again, it's just a single match. And we just talk about BPL stuff and the game. So it should be interesting. If this is the first one you're watching, I hope you continue to watch them because I love putting these together. And, you know, my passion in life is football. It always has been. And the fact that I can talk about real football in these videos and on my channel and stuff, it is awesome. And I really like these. So anyway, as you can see in the title, we are doing Arsenal versus Everton, not Everton versus Arsenal. It is at the Emirates tonight. And what a game. I don't want to sound like I'm afraid that Arsenal are going to lose because I think we're going to do all right. But I'm nervous. I genuinely am because it's such an important match. Arguably, I'd say it's one of the biggest games of the season so far for Arsenal. But not just Arsenal, Everton as well. You know, both clubs fighting for that top four spot. I would say more so Arsenal though, of course, because there is a 4-point gap at the moment between Arsenal and Everton. So what you could say is that Everton need to win this more than Arsenal in terms of what they're aiming for, because I think even if Arsenal lose tonight, we still have a great chance of making it into the top four because, you know, Tottenham and Chelsea, you could argue, aren't in the best form ever at the moment, although they still obviously pose a massive threat to our target of top four. But anyway, let's talk about some other stuff here. Mertesacker is available. He served his one-match ban. So whether Mertesacker will be starting tonight, I'm not sure. I hope he does because when you've got Fellaini, you know, kind of attacking all the time, you want someone that can match his height and strength, and I think Mertesacker provides that. And also, you know, Vermaelen in the squad. You know, I like Vermaelen, but we have noticed over the last few months, Arsenal fans specifically, that I think Mertesacker and Koscielny are probably the better pair. That's my opinion anyway. I wouldn't have said that last season, but this season, Vermaelen's been absolutely, I'd say, awful. He really has been poor. David Moyes has reported that there are no new injuries to the Everton squad. So you Everton fans, if there are current injuries from last weekend, they will still be there, but there's no new ones. So that's good news for you guys. Statistically, okay, this is something I read. Arsenal are better off without Wilshere. Apparently, every time Wilshere's played, he's actually contributed to worse statistics for Arsenal. We actually win more games when he's not playing. The reason I'm talking about this is because it really pissed me off. The article, I think it was on The Guardian, I read this. Okay, sure, the numbers don't lie. Every time Arsenal have played this season, they've done a table of when it was with him and when it was without Wilshere. And technically, we are better off without him. But I don't think they take into consideration what teams we're up against, and also how much of I kind of want to say how much of confidence he brings to the team. You know, I don't think they took that into consideration. So it was a very slight difference. You know, you're talking maybe 3 or 4 matches where we lost when he was playing compared to 3 or 4 that we won without him. But you got to take into consideration that he was out for a large proportion of this season. So, but I just wanted to quickly mention that because Wilshere is definitely, I'd say, Arsenal's best player. Well, definitely in the future he will be as well. And I don't think it's true that we're worse off with that. We're worse off with him. I don't think that's true. He brings a certain element to the squad that we need. Sure, there's some games where it might be better to play, you know, Rosicki there instead. You know, sure, every team has its weaknesses against certain teams. Anyway, if Everton don't win tonight, do you think they can make it in the top 4? I personally don't. I think if they lose tonight to Arsenal, I think that's it for them. There's no top 4. However, I think they're going to be the strongest candidates for... Oh, actually, no, because that means Spurs and... Yeah, okay, never mind that. I think that they will probably get the Europa League, but it's going to be difficult between them, Chelsea and Tottenham if Arsenal do get 3rd or 4th, whatever. Now, if Arsenal win tonight, which I'm not sure, I'll talk about my prediction in a minute, I think the pressure on Spurs will be too much. I heard a statistic that by the next time Spurs play, which I think is next Sunday, Arsenal could be 7 points ahead of them. I mean, that is pressure. That is a lot of pressure on the Spurs players who have got injuries, and they're going to have to win some pretty tough games. They've got Man City coming up. They're going away to Wigan, which is always a tough game. You saw what happened to Man United last year. So, you know, if Arsenal wins tonight, I think the pressure could be just that little bit too much on Spurs. And we know how they always buckle at the end of seasons when Arsenal are strongest. And we could see a repeat of last season when we overtook that massive gap and finished above them by a point, although I think this year it might be more than that. Now let's get on to my prediction of this game. Arsenal, I'm going to go with 2 goals. Everton, 2 goals. I'm going with a 2-2. Now I have got a picture. I'm actually going to bring this up. Let me quickly grab that because I'll put it in the video. I made an image the other week just before we played Reading with my final predictions for the season for Arsenal, and I've stuck by these, and so far I've got it right every single time. So I predicted that we'd beat Reading. I predicted 3-1, but it was 2-1. Oh, no, it was 3-1 in the end, wasn't it? I predicted that we would beat West Brom away. I said 1-0, but it was 2-1. I then predicted that we would beat Norwich 2-1, when actually it was 3-1. So far I've got all 3 right. And tonight, it says on this picture that I predict 2-2. So I'm going to stick with that prediction. And to be honest, I think that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. I really do. I think Arsenal will go 1-0 up, but Everton will score 2 goals. You know, like just before and after half time, maybe, and then maybe in the last 5 minutes we will rescue that point. I think it'll be like a real clutch goal by Podolski or something like that. So that's my prediction for tonight. And then I've got my other predictions. I'll just quickly go through now, actually. We do have Fulham on Saturday, away at Fulham, which is all right. It's kind of at home because it's still in London, if you think of it that way. I reckon we're going to win that one 2-0. But then we've got the big game. The game at Emirates. Manchester United coming to visit. Potentially they could win the league that day, which will be heartbreaking. I'm predicting that we're going to lose that one 3-1. I've said that since the start. I think Man United will beat us there. Hopefully not, but you know, these are my prediction. I'm an honest person. I'm a realistic fan, and I don't think we'll be able to beat Man United, either home or away. QPR is then our next fixture at QPR, and I reckon we'll win that one 2-1. You know, at that point, I think they'll be guaranteed to be relegated. Obviously, they've still got a few games where they can mathematically still survive if they win their remaining games, but I don't think it's going to happen. We then have Wigan. I'm predicting a 1-1. And then we have Newcastle, which I think we will win 4-1. So those are my predictions. Yes, 4-1 against Newcastle. It might be a little bit of a, I don't know, a little bit of an inflated ego. But, you know, I think Newcastle are struggling at the moment, and I reckon we can pounce on that. So, yeah, prediction for tonight, 2-2. And so far, as you saw, the last 3 games, I have predicted right. So hopefully I'll be right again. But let's go into some facts as we wind down the video here. Arsenal are unbeaten in their last 11 Premier League games against Everton. We've won 8 and drawn 3. And last time was when we lost 1-0 at Goodison Park in March 2007. So it's really looking unlikely that Everton will beat us tonight if you look at the numbers. But it's entirely possible. They've got a very good team. Arsenal have won. They've got more wins, 26, and scored more goals, 82, against Everton than they have against any other side in the Premier League. So technically this is our best team to play. We score the most goals and we win the most against Everton. But let's do Everton facts now. Everton have won 4 out of their last 5 Premier League matches. They've won 4 and they've drawn 1. So they are unbeaten in the last 5. So quite similar to Arsenal, in a very good run of form at the moment. Everton have not won any of their last 4 away league matches. They've drawn 2 and lost 2. So they've had a run of lots of home games, but they have got a lot of away games coming up, which I think could come back to bite them in the arse towards the end of the season here. But every time they've been away, the last 4 times, they haven't been able to win. So everything is lining up for Arsenal. Everything is perfect. If you look at it that way, everything is lining up perfectly for us. Technically, we should win tonight, and I'm bloody praying that we win, because I think if Arsenal do it tonight, out of all the games that we've won this season, it's this one. We need to win tonight. If we do that, I think we're okay. I think we're going to make it into the Champions League. And I'm sorry, Tottenham, but I don't think you are. I think Chelsea are. And they're going to make it with Arsenal. I think it's going to finish Arsenal in 4th, Chelsea in 3rd. And I think Tottenham, you're going to slide down into that 5th position. And it's going to be down to the wire, like literally on the last day of the season. If we win, if we lose and you win, then you overtake us. I think it's going to be something like that. It's going to be really tight. And unfortunately, down at the bottom, you know, Reading and QPR, I think in my mind, they're already gone. I don't know who's going to join them, but I'm hoping it's Stoke. I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me. I'm sorry if you're a Stoke fan, but I'm not a fan of the way Tony Pulis makes you guys play. You need to get a new manager. You need to play proper football because, yeah, sure, at the start of the season, it started great, you know, having this mighty, strong, tall team, you know, basically bullying people on the pitch, almost like rugby tackles. You were winning matches and you weren't conceding goals, but that technique isn't working anymore. Other teams have realised how to beat you. It wouldn't surprise me if managers ring up each other when they've got a Stoke match at the weekend and they say, oh, I found out how to do it. Look, you do this to break them down. Just because they hate the team as well. I know Arsene Wenger absolutely hates Stoke. He hates going there. because he knows all his good players are going to get bruised and injured, you know. But that's just my thoughts on tonight's game, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do leave a like rating. I will be tweeting live during the match, so please do follow me on Twitter. And also in the description will be a link to my last Arsenal episode. It went up about 2 hours before this. If you haven't seen it already, I'd really appreciate it if you could go check it out and leave a like on it. It was a really cool video, a really good way to end the series that, you know, you could say made my channel over the last year. And really, really, really appreciate all that support, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.